the cemetery Jericho scene. Camel dust heralds our arrival. New cries begin.
We've got AJ in Gulf Breeze, Florida.
Yep. I'm not sure, I think in other states this has happened, but recently in my county, there's been a ruling on religion in school because Pace High, which is near me, had a principal doing prayers before, or prayers in homeroom after they pledge, which outraged some parents. And then they passed this, and now the deal is that anything with Christian in it, like Christian athletes, etc., not allowed. And Ustream says they're sick of me. And what else? Oh, yes, and teachers can't say God or prayer or anything like that, apparently.
I think we might be making a mistake if they're actually working.